I am Anil Kumar. In this video, we'll discuss transformation of a trigonometric function. The question here is, consider one cycle of f of x equals to sine x. Describe key features of the transformed function g of x equals to minus 1 over 3 sine 2 x minus 45 minus 3. You can always pause the video, answer this question, and then look into my suggestion. Now, important thing here to understand is to describe key features. Now, what are the key features which we need to describe? Well, amplitude, phase shift, time period, domain and range. These are the 5 key features which we have to describe of the transformed function, correct? Now, with that in mind, let's start first describing the transformed function itself. So g of x, we'll assume, is transformed f of x, right? So we are only considering one cycle of f of x. Now, when I say one cycle, it means what? It basically means that we're talking about the graph of sine, which is kind of like this. This is what we are talking about, whose domain is from 0 to 360 degrees and range is from minus 1 to plus 1, correct? So that is f of x. Now we'll compare g of x with this f of x. So first thing is minus. This minus indicates what? So let's write down which parameter we are looking at, and then we'll try to describe this, right? So first we are looking at this negative sign, which is this one, and that really means a reflection on the x-axis. So it is a vertical reflection, right? You can also qualify this with saying vertical reflection. Reflection on x-axis, right? So that is how you'll describe this. The next feature to look into is 1 over 3, right? So what is the effect of 1 over 3? 1 over 3 means we are compressing vertically by a factor of 1 over 3, right? So vertical compression factor of 1 over 3, correct? Then we'll look into the next feature, which is 2. Now this 2 reflects what? The parameter 2 reflects that there will be 2 waves within 360. It reflects that the time period will be half, right? Or we can say generally it affects horizontal compression, right? It really means horizontally compressed by a factor of 2. That's what it means. Now, let's take a break here and look back into what we have done so far. One parameter which we looked into was vertical compression by a factor of 1 over 3. Now, what is the effect of this? That is to say, which key feature is influenced by this particular change? Definitely, it is the amplitude, correct? So here we can say, from here we can say that the amplitude is equal to 1 over 3, correct? So instead of 1 being the amplitude, it has become 1 over 3, correct? The next one was horizontally compressed by a factor of 2. Rather, I should write horizontally compressed by a factor of half. So what really happens here is that the time period reduces to half. So here the effect is that the time period is now equal to half of 360. That is 360 times half or divided by 2, it gives you 180. Do you see that part? So that is the effect. We have to describe these key features for the given transform function. So I hope now you understand clearly what the question demands. Then we look into minus 45. Now minus 45 means that the wave which we are talking about will be translated 45 to the right. So in this case, along the x-axis, we are taking angle theta in degrees, right? So this is actually in degrees, right? So it is translated 45 degrees to right. Now what will that affect? So that is phase shift. (45 degrees right). Is that clear to you, right? Now the next feature is minus 3. Minus 3 means that this axis will move 3 units down. Now, what will that imply? When the axis moves 3 units down, then normally it is axis will be at now which new position? So axis will now be at y equals to minus 3, not y equals to 0. So these are the major changes in the transformed function. Now these changes will also affect domain and range, right? So the other two effects which we have to work out is domain and range. Now, domain of the transformed function will be what? Since it has moved 45 degrees to the right and the time period has been reduced to 180, correct? So from 45 to 180 is your new domain, right? So if I really want to make a sketch of this, let me make a new sketch here. We'll kind of make slightly approximate since we have very less space here. So I'm moving my transform function axis to minus 3. Let's say this is minus 3 for us. Okay, this is y equals to minus 3. Now from this position of y equals to minus 3, the amplitude is 1 over 3 and the wave starts after 45 degrees. So, and that too in downward direction since it is reflected. So it is reflected, it goes like this. Does make sense to you? And we have this particular wave. So that becomes the transform function g of x. Is that clear? Now this g of x, as you can see, will have domain from 45 degrees to 45 plus 180, right? So which is 5, 8 and 4 is 12, 225. So the domain is that x belongs to real numbers, so that x is greater than equal to 45 degrees but less than 225 degrees. And the range will be from where? So y belongs to real numbers, but here the minimum value reached will be minus 3 minus the amplitude, which is 1 over 3, right? So, it is minus 3 1 over 3, correct? So this will be minus 3 1 over 3. And the maximum, which is right there, will be 1 over 3 less than minus 3, correct? So you could say this will be minus 2 over 3. You get the idea. So the range will be that y will be greater than equal to minus 2 over 3 and less than equals to minus 3. I should have written the other way, I'm sorry. Minus 3 1 over this, and because this is bigger, right? So minus 2 over 3. Is that clear to you, right? So the range is from here to there, right? This is lower, more negative. So we'll write minus 3 1 over 3 to minus 2 over 3. And that becomes kind of our sketch for the transform function. So I hope now you understand the complete concept. When we have a question to describe the key features, we should actually describe the transformation and also show how each transformation changes the key features. The key features are amplitude, time period, phase shift, domain, and range. So these are the 5 key features which you should always discuss for such a question. I hope this point is absolutely clear. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.